everybody, Kristen Mead here, and this is going to be my Vodcast. I hope you enjoy. For this Vodcast, I decided to focus on effects of socioeconomic status and race on student education as my specific cultural dimension that interests me the most. A few of the discussion points that I wanted to make sure I mentioned were how stereotypes play a role in perception of students, ways that poverty can affect a child's experience at school, how race and ethnicity can alter academic success, and then a few culturally responsive teaching techniques or strategies that I came across while researching. First, I want to talk about the effects of stereotypes and the impact that it has on student learning. A few stereotypes I came across. First, white student stereotypes, that white females are more intelligent than males, white males are lazy and mischievous, white students don't have to try as hard as other races, everything comes easy to them, and they are provided with more benefits in and out of school than other students. This stereotype can hinder learning from white students because we automatically expect them to do well. Some African American stereotypes that I came across was all African American students are disadvantaged. These students are more likely to have behavior problems. They are treated differently because of the color of their skin. This has effect on African American students because we automatically have a preconceived notion that these are going to be troublemakers before we even meet them. The other main ethnic group that I came across that has many stereotypes attached with the name is Asian student stereotypes. They are most intelligent race, they don't have to try hard, it all comes easy to them, and their parents enforce the impact of learning and academic success at home. This is a disadvantage of Asian students because, again, we automatically assume that they're going to do well and succeed and probably wouldn't put as much emphasis on their learning as we would at a disadvantaged ethnical group. A perfect example of stereotyping that I came across is in the following scenario. A first grade teacher at a prestigious private school has just been told that a new student is transferring into the class. The only information the teacher has been given is that the new student is African American and is male, who is transferring from a large northern city where he attended public school in the inner city. What expectations might this teacher now have for this new student? All the expectations and assumptions of this stereotype have the potential of getting in the way of not allowing the teacher to really see the student for who he is. In addition, we have to keep in mind that these students might be dealing with expectations of their own. They might have had bad experiences with teachers in new schools, and they're coming in with a negative attitude because of their stereotype of school and their expectations. It is because of these stereotypes that students are prejudged before they even set foot in the classroom. When teachers have preconceived notions of how students will be behaviorally and academically, they unconsciously treat them according to their stereotypes. These students are put at a disadvantage because they aren't given the full opportunity to prove themselves as individuals. A few teaching strategies that I found while researching were: keep in mind the old saying, don't judge a book by its cover. Let the students show you who they really are. Recognize that negative attitudes towards ethnic and racial minorities exist and advocate for cultural competence. Emphasize the positive integrating force of ethnicity in our society and help the students recognize their own strengths. Also emphasize social justice and that all races are equal. Next, I would like to discuss the effects of race on academic achievement and success in the classroom. A great resource that I found online was Status and Trends of Education of Racial and Ethnic Groups by Suzanne Odd. I'm going to tie this in with the effects of socioeconomic status on students in school as well, because I believe that these two topics go hand in hand. For instance, African American students are viewed as doing more poorly, but some of the reasons could be outside of the academic realm. It is stated that African American families are headed more likely by single parents and usually a mother. When that one parent is in charge, it places all the responsibility of running the family and bills on one person. So the parents aren't there when the students need help at home, and also once the students are of age, they usually have to get a job and help provide for the family. This causes them to have less time to study, work on homework, and therefore their grades suffer. Poverty also affects student achievement. Socioeconomic realities deprive students of the valuable resources at home and at school. They have less access to technology and the internet. They may come to school hungry, and then that means they can't concentrate during class. They might also come to school tired because they didn't get a good night's sleep. They fall asleep in class, they miss what's going on, and then they fall behind. Some other culturally responsive teaching strategies that I came across were to attend trainings for appropriate treatment of a diverse social class of ethnic and racial population, take the time to understand the impact of these barriers on a student's well-being, develop models and measures of socioeconomic status that reflect the social and historical complexities of communities of color. Consider how socioeconomic status affects how students perceive problems and cope with issues, and then develop effective treatments. More importantly, help build the self-esteem of these students and help them recognize that they are capable of high achievement, no matter what their background. Say hi.